It was a gloomy autumn evening in Chicago. The leaves rustled along the pavement and cold winds whispered stories of pain and hope. On the corner of Lake Street stood a man in a tailored navy coat, David Merton, a millionaire entrepreneur, known for his luxury tech empire. But today, his usual pride was nowhere to be seen. His eyes were fixed on the wheelchair where his 8-year-old daughter Lily sat motionless. After a tragic accident 6 months ago, doctors had declared she'd never walk again. David had spent millions on treatments, flown specialists from Europe, and built a medical facility in his mansion. But nothing worked. That day, he stood silently outside the hospital, holding his daughter's small hand, watching the city pass by. He felt powerless, a feeling he wasn't used to. Power, money, control, none of it mattered when your child was broken and hope was slipping away. Asterisk as David gently brushed Lily's hair behind her ear, a soft voice broke his thoughts. "Sir, I can help her walk again." David turned, annoyed at first, thinking it was another scammer or desperate seller. But what he saw froze him in place. A ragged boy, no older than 12, stood barefoot on the cold pavement. His clothes were torn, skin bruised, hair messy, but his eyes, they carried something different. Not pity, not hunger, but certainty. "Excuse me?" David asked, trying to hide his irritation. "I said, I can help your daughter," the boy repeated, looking directly at Lily. Lily blinked, surprised, but said nothing. David looked around, expecting a camera crew or some cruel prank. "Where are your parents?" David asked sharply. "I don't have any," the boy replied. "I sleep near the old train station, but I know how to fix her legs." Asterisk David almost laughed, a hollow sound escaping his throat. "You? You're a street kid. You live in dirt. What do you know about paralysis?" The boy didn't flinch. "I don't know the names doctors use, but I've helped people before. Old Mrs. Klein who couldn't move her arms, a man with a twisted foot. I can feel when something's stuck. I can fix it. I see the blocks," he said, placing a hand over his chest. His voice wasn't arrogant. It was calm, like truth. Lily, who hadn't smiled in weeks, was now watching him closely. "What's your name?" she asked. "Jay," he replied with a soft smile. David hesitated. It was madness. But something in the way Jay looked at Lily felt real. Desperate, broken, and with nothing left to lose, David finally whispered, "All right, show me." Asterisk Jay knelt beside Lily's wheelchair and softly asked, "May I touch her legs?" David nodded hesitantly. Jay gently placed his small dirty hands on Lily's knees and closed his eyes. For several seconds he said nothing, just breathed steadily, his fingers barely moving. The street sounds faded into the background. Lily flinched slightly, as if feeling a spark. "There's a cold place near her hip." "It's blocked," Jay murmured. He pressed gently on a point near her lower back, then moved his fingers down the leg in a slow circular motion. Lily gasped. David leaned forward. "What happened?" "It tickled," she said. It was the first time he had heard her voice. "With life in months." Jay continued his movements, humming something under his breath. Suddenly, Lily's foot twitched. David's eyes widened. Did she just, before he could finish, her other foot moved too? Asterisk, a small crowd had begun to gather around them, whispering, watching. "It's working," one woman said under her breath. "Is this real?" Someone else asked. David knelt beside his daughter, tears forming in his eyes. "Lily, can you feel your legs?" he asked. "Yes, Daddy. I can feel the ground," she whispered. Jay smiled but looked exhausted. "Don't make her stand yet. Let her rest. Tomorrow she can try walking," he said, his voice weak. David turned to Jay, overwhelmed. How did you do that? Jay shrugged. I just listened to the body. I see where it's blocked. My grandmother taught me before she passed. But the city never believed her. Sighed we were crazy. David looked at him in awe. His millions, his doctors, his hospitals, none of it could do what this boy had done with nothing but bare hands and heart. Lily looked up at Jay. You're like magic. Jay stood up, wobbling a bit from exhaustion. I need to go, he whispered, but David stopped him. Wait, please. Let me help you now. Where do you live? What do you eat? Jay looked down. I'm fine. I don't need money. I just didn't want her to hurt anymore. David felt something crack inside him, pride, maybe, or guilt. He reached into his coat and pulled out a card. Come to this address tomorrow. No tricks, no pressure. I want to help you, and maybe you can help others. Jay looked at the card, then at Lily. She gave him the brightest smile he'd ever seen. He nodded slowly, then disappeared into the night. David stood holding Lily's hand, still kneeling. He had everything: power, fame, wealth. But in that moment, the richest person he knew was a barefoot beggar boy with healing hands and a heart of gold.